First up, we got Lightning Reflexes. 1 mana nature spell, discover a nature spell. If you play it this turn, discover another. I first read this like it was Fireheart. This is not like Instructor Fireheart. This is discover one. If you play it, discover another. You don't keep discovering. But still, that's good.
Okay.
1 mana, discover 2 nature spells.
To use it. Is it good?
Yeah,
I mean,
which you will. Trust me. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you haven't seen.
I'll give it a 3. I'm not as sold of like really good, but like okay, it's not. I think better than a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 4, maybe a 5. Okay. We'll see. It's because of what comes later too.
Okay.
After Lightning Reflexes, we got Disciple of Golganeth. 2 mana, 2/3 at the end of your turn. Reduce the cost of a random overload card in your hand by 1. This doesn't look very good. Remember Florist?
Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Never worked. Yeah. And yeah, let's give it a 1. I'm gonna give it 1, and I believe. Yeah.
This isn't the exciting card.
Yeah.
After that, we got Flash of Lightning. 2 mana nature spell. Draw a card. Next turn, your nature spells cost 1 less.
This is hard to like imagine in my brain all the factors of like how frequently and easily this works, but I think it could be very strong. But yeah, it could also be not like marginal. I don't know.
You also draw a card with it, which is nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's like a setup card. Setup. I mean, setups are like often awkward, like but sometimes when they're really strong, like what's that 1 mana deal 8 that Shaman was running that you've played a spell the previous turn? Kind of reminds me of that. Yeah. But yeah.
I think Flash Lightning is a 5, personally.
I'm gonna give it a 3. It's I'm not as sold as you, so yeah.
So there's that. Next up, we got Thorim Stormlord. 3 mana, 3/4 legendary. Battlecry, unlock your overloaded mana crystals. Draw that many cards. However many you unlock, you draw.
So it's like overdraft. And Shaman has bad draw. This card is really good. This card might be really good.
I think it's fine. Shaman doesn't overload that much.
Now, because it sucks and it didn't have this card, but like...
Well, if you're on turn 5, let's say, and like you've overloaded 2...
Oh, that's a good point. Still,
like, yeah, you play 3 mana, you get 3/4, you draw 2, you have 2 mana crystals to play with. That's not bad. It's not great. Not bad.
I'm gonna give this a 5. And then it's Overload Shaman's still not gonna be good enough, but like I'm gonna give it a 5. So yeah.
I'll go for a 3 on it.
Okay.
It's gonna draw a card or 2. It's not bad. After Thorim, we got Turn the Tides. 3 mana nature spell. Give your hero +3 attack this turn. Summon a 3/3 elemental with Rush. Overload 1.
4 mana. Is this? It reminds me of.
A couple.
Doomhammer is insane. Okay.
Or Horn of the Windlord. Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna give it a 4 because I remembered Horn of the Windlord as a card. Even so, yeah. All right.
And even on its own, it's kind of like Serpent Shrine Portal.
Yeah. And we get to draw with our 3 mana 3/4 the next turn, so it's perfectly.
And it's also a nature spell.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It checks all the boxes.
So.
Like a 4 spell, right?
All right.
Yes. Next up, we got Champion of Storms. 4 mana 3/5 elemental. After you cast a nature spell, summon a 4/2 elemental. And if you forge this, that elemental has Rush.
Ooh.
So if you forge this, it's like Thunderhead. You remember that guy?
Yeah, I mean, this is like a lot of setup, but then a crazy pop-off turn, right? Like you do a setup, you discount your cards, you somehow get some 0 mana nature cards, and you go 4 coin and play two or 3 nature spells. And it's okay actually. I don't know. It's not as good as I thought. I mean, yeah, this card costs 8 in Druid. That's true. Yeah. But that is better than that, Ches. Does it actually? this card could be a 1 or a 5 in my opinion. Like it's like so on the margin of like how efficient it is and how fast it is. I'll give it a 4. So
Okay.
this
Same
card
boat as me then.
yeah, this card could be amazing, and it's also could just like you play it, it doesn't quite as easy as you think to make it work. But yeah, anyways. Okay.
Yeah. After that, we got Tempest Hammer. 4 mana, 1/3 weapon. After your hero attacks, deal 3 damage to the lowest health enemy. I don't know why they made this.
It's interesting, but bad, I feel like.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, this is real bad.
Yeah.
When are you ever putting this in a deck when you can play Horn of the Windlord?
Yeah, Horn of the Windlord is a good card, I've heard.
Yeah.
So
This is a 1.
yeah, I'll give it a 1. So okay.
Next up, Crash of Thunder. 5 mana nature spell. Deal 3 damage to all enemies. Hits face. Costs 1 less for each nature spell you've cast this turn. That's part of the whole setup here. Where you play Flash of Lightning, you draw a card, next turn all your nature spells cost 1 less. And then you can play Champion of Storms, Lightning Reflexes for free, get a 4/2 with Rush, discover a nature spell, play it, get another 4/2 with Rush, and then you start casting these for free. And you can do some bioluminescent stuff if you want, hypothetically. Lightning bolts burn people down.
It's so hard to like. Clearly, when you play like 3 nature spells and then play this for like 2 and like do a bunch of damage, that's like really efficient. But but it's hard for me to like. It also could be really annoying. I'll just like it really depends on like how nicely this deck works, right? So I'll give it a 3. So
I'll go 5 on this. I think it's one of the big payoff cards. I like this a lot.
Okay.
Next up, we got Golganeth the Thunderer. 6 mana 5/7 Titan. Your first spell each turn costs 3 less.
So you can play one right away.
Yep, and the abilities on it are deal 3 damage to all enemies, hits face, and restores 6 health to all friendly characters, including minions, and your face. There is deal 20 damage to a minion.
I just like how that seems like it's really strong, but Priest has like remove 2 cards used for the game. But like this seems stronger, even though it's much worse. So yeah, anyways, yeah.
You can also draw 3 overload cards. But I mean, this card it's a Titan. Yeah. This card's nuts.
I'm glad we're back to the 5 Titans and none of this, so I don't have to think anymore. Yeah, none of this. So, okay.
Card's nuts.
Yeah.
After that, we got Thorignir Drake, I guess is how you say that. 7 mana 6/6 dragon with Rush. Whenever this attacks, summon 2 3/1 whelps to attack the target first. This is a prescience target, I think. But that's about all I came up with.
I just want to get this a 1. Like, these cards suck. I feel like, I don't know.
I'll give it a 2 in case prescience decks like it. But yeah, you're not playing this in a regular Shaman deck. Hell no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Shaman set right there.
Oh, okay. All right.
The Shaman got this whole nature package. And it's like a little bit of overload crossover too. It looks really, really nice together.
I'm not convinced either way. It's hard to like when I don't know, decks that you have to play 4 or 5 cards in a turn, or I have a hard time like thinking about like if they're gonna work or not until you actually play it. So
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm liking the flavor and the power though. That looks right. That looks real nice. All right, Warlock. Warlock got a bit of a weird set. Not bad necessarily, but weird. First up, Chaotic Consumption. 1 mana spell. Destroy a friendly minion to destroy an enemy minion. And you do target both.
Okay.
It's not random.
I mean, this is a lot better than Sacrifice.
Yes.
But like it's also worse than Plague of
It's
Flames.
a single charge. Yeah, it's a single charge Plague of Flames. Which I think is probably worth a 4.
You can target. If it weren't target, I think it would be garbage.
I think it's a good card.
I don't know.
It does kill Titans too.
That's true. Okay, you
Yes.
sold me that it's going to see play just because Titans. So let's give it a 4. I was like 3, 2, and then I thought Titans, and like yeah, every deck needs something like this. So
Yep.
okay.
All right, so there's that.
Yeah. Someone said Warlock
also
likes death rattles.
Yeah, good with slime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that big stuff.
Okay.
Next up, we got Monstrous Form, 1-mana shadow spell. Give a friendly minion +3/+3 until your next turn. So it's power overwhelming, but the thing doesn't die.
But it's +3/+3 instead of +5/+5.
+4/4, yeah. You lose 1/1 in stats for it not dying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's weird. It's like this card is good, and the type of deck that plays this card is just not Hearthstone deck anymore.
That lives overwhelming. That lives horribly. My chat is okay. I give it a 2.
I'm gonna go bold and give it a 1, just because I'm not sure if there's a deck that it exists in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it goes in an imp block. Actually, never mind. Yeah, 2. It might go in an imp block.
Okay.
All right, Monstrous Form, whatever. Who cares? Next up, Thornveil Tentacle. 2-mana 2/2, lifesteal. Battle Cry, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. I don't know why this says random. It's kind of like Drain Soul. So
This might be good enough. Like,
yeah. Kind of like a Drain Soul.
I'm gonna give it 2. I mean, the raw efficiency is okay. Like, if you have board control, you can use it to finish stuff. It might be really good, actually. I don't know. It's like
Warlock needs to stay alive. There's that.
Yeah, the lifesteal is valuable. Like you run it in your tempo deck, and you can use it to like. But Warlock has trouble. Like tempo Warlock decks often have trouble controlling the board. I'll give it a 3. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So.
It's a fine card. Drain Soul's a good card. This should be fine too.
You can't target, so it's more like you use it in a different deck. I feel like, but yeah.
Yep. Next up, we got Forge of Wills, 3-mana location, 2 charges. Choose a friendly minion. Summon a giant with its stats and rush. Now you haven't seen the whole set exact. I think this card is very nuts.
I mean, this is like a faceless manipulard litter, but without this like. Yes. We compare. There are cards like this that have been one-time use for more mana that have been busted. Like think like the priest card. They give you taunt +2 health, so the taunt was valuable. But like this has rush. I could use it twice. I don't have to spend it the same man on the same turn, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll give this 5.
Yep. I'm on a 5 too. Yeah. And there's something else in the Warlock set that works with it nicely too. Next up, we got Mortal Eradication. 3-mana shadow spell. Deal 5 damage randomly split among all enemies. All enemy minions, rather. Restore 2 health to your hero for each minion you kill. This seems good.
So there's a card like this with the Echo that did 5 that saw play, right? But this you can get 8 heal or something ridiculous, which the heal is what might make this card good enough, like really good.
It does less damage, but it heals you.
Heal matters for Warlock, you know. Yeah. So
I like a 3 on this.
Yeah. 5 damage is nothing today. You're right. I'll give it 3 because 5 damage is nothing, but the heal is so good, so it's like it's hard to know. Like
the early it's probably going to kill 1 or 2 minions and heal you for 4, 2, or whatever. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, okay cards aren't often good enough, so it's like that's why I mean it's right on the line where maybe it's insane, maybe it's like bad. I'm not sure. So, but I like in theory this effect is really good. Like if I deal X amount of damage and I get a bunch of heal, like those cards tend to be good. So
you can kill 2, heal 4, you're chilling.
Yeah.
So there's that. After this, we have Disciple of Sargeras. 4-mana 3/3, Battlecry, discard a spell to summon 2 3/2 imps. And if you forge this, you give those imps plus 2 health and taunt. The way I'm reading this, if you don't discard a spell, you don't get the imps. It says discard a spell to summon.
I'm trying to imagine the optimal world where this card is remotely playable, right? Okay, so you want to discard spells. You only run Hand of Gul'dan. Okay, got that.
Well, you don't have Hand of Gul'dan anymore. You have the one that deals 6 damage randomly split among enemies.
Okay. Oh, so I could see. So if you only run like some discard spells, the Forge is terrible. Don't even like. I'm not even like. Forge doesn't even exist in my mind. But like, if I only like have broken cards that when they're discarded, because I can tutor that out.
Well, there's one spell that discards to do something. I think.
Yeah.
Just one. I don't think you can find it in any capacity.
Yeah, I'll just give this a 1 and make my life easier. So
I'll give it a 1 too. I don't like this card.
Okay.
Next up, Wing Welding. 4 mana spell. Discard your highest cost card. Deal damage equal to its cost to all minions.
I mean, a 4 damage. I mean, even though you lose your Thaddeus, but like he's in your hand, destroy everything might be good. Like that might be good, right? Like
maybe a little.
Yeah.
I don't think the card is good, but is it completely unplayable? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say it's a 1. It's probably not, but I'm gonna say it is.
I'm gonna give it 2. So I think this might be playable. So
small chance. After that, we got Loken, Jailer of Yogg-Saron. 6 mana legendary 3/3. Battle Cry, discover a minion from your deck, which will go to your hand. Summon a tentacle with its stats and taunt.
This reminds me of Abyssal, which got you often like an 8/8 or a 9/9, in handlock.
Yeah. There's a Phantom, the 15/15 lifesteal that costs 30. Equal to your deck size. So what you could hypothetically do is play a location on 3. Get this guy coined out maybe on turn 5. Get a 15/15 with taunt, and then copy a 15/15 with rush.
I mean, when you hit it, like often,
Yeah.
3 out of 4.
Like other minion, if you're Titan, you can just
I guess
load
it's
your deck
discover
with
minions. So if you're a big,
just put like 2-3 big minions in there.
And you get the card draw, right? Where the other card. I've tried like this. The
downside is just you can't play other minions, but the upside is you get Barnes. It's like Barnes Yashiraj.
I mean, well, you just run this in a deck that has big minions, right? Like in theory, so you can get big stats. Like so, you just run in big like a Thaddeus Warlock, right? Like that's what I'm seeing.
I'm caught between a 4 or a 5 on this guy.
4 or 5. I'm just like. The more I think about it, is like once I get to turn 5, 5, and 6. I mean, when you have it, but like, I don't know.
2 15/15s is big.
But it's not happening. I guess. Oh, if you're running only the card, but then you have to like. Oh, I see. So
you can play up to 3 other minions that aren't Loken in your deck. Like you play this.
Okay. I'll give it a 3. I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, it is better than Business Summoner, so I'll give it 3. So.
All right, card's decent. Next up, Imprisoned Horror. 9 mana 5/5. Costs 1 less for each damage you've taken on your turns this game.
So it's like that might be good, right?
Discount this fast. I think you can discount it very fast.
I mean. If Dark Glare were still a thing, this card would be this card's really good. 5.
Yeah, 5 for me too.
Okay.
I think the card's powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, so okay.
And finally, Sargeras the Destroyer. 9 mana 6/12 Titan, also a demon. Battle Cry, open a portal that summons 2 3/2 imps each turn. And Sargeras' ability is send all other minions into the Twisting Nether. It's like the old Reno hero, it poofs all the minions off the board. It can have future demons summoned from the Twisting Nether, have +2 health and taunt. So the imps become 3/4 taunts. And then there is the summon 2/6/6 Infernals from the Twisting Nether, which would also be buffed by the taunt thing if you used it. Now, important note about this card, this is a battle cry. Every one of his abilities is based on a battle cry. So if this card gets, say, Dirty Ratted out, you don't get the portal, and the Titan does nothing for 3 turns, which is kind of a bummer.
I hate when I get a...
It's a 6/12 that can't attack for 3 turns.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's
weird. I think Sargeras is a good card. It does say Titan. I don't know if Warlock is going to make it work because it's just very slow. They did get some survival tools. That's nice. I don't know if they're good enough, but I'll just say 5 on them.
it is a big number, that 9. But like
it is.
And like these effects have always sucked. To be
Actually,
honest,
at 4. Yeah, I'll go down to a 4. Because this card,
like,
it's not.
I
It's
mean,
not really early match.
but you can put this as a win, like 1 card win condition in your crappy win condition Warlock. So
sort of. If you play this against Priest, say, it's not like a 1 card win condition, because they can Theatar this, they can Dirty Rat it, they can Power Chord synchronize it, and they could also hypothetically just remove your stuff forever. They do have the ability to keep discovering shadow spells all the time. It's not as a 1 card win condition.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 4. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's just slow. It's a powerful card that's just slow.
I mean, if this were 7 mana, it'd be broken, right? So it's I mean, it'd be another 5 cards. So, but it's just at 9, you're often dead. So, and it's like not an auto win. So
it's not, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And now, overall for Warlock set, I think they got a good set. I just think it's weird looking. It's hard to stitch all the different pieces together in my brain.
It might be they got a lot of cards that like might be absolutely busted, but I'm not sure. So exactly. It's like, but it also the got cards that I'm like, you know, there's just stuff like this. How good is this Mortal Eradication? Is location going to be busted, or is it just going to be okay? Like,
how quickly do you get free horrors?
Yeah, like yeah. So this, I mean, the Warlock might be really good, but it's hard. It's not like I'm not 100% like this is going to be really good. It just might, but it might be. So yeah.
And then finally, for the class sets, we have Warrior, and I think Warrior got a hell of a set. Very cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
First up, we got Furious Furnace, which isn't cool looking. It's a 2-mana 1/3 mech with magnetic, but also damages the minion next to whichever this attacks.
So it's another cleave, right? So
yep.
But at 2 mana, I don't know. Like, what am I magnetizing this on? I guess it's
nothing. I don't think Warrior plays mechs. The only mech they got.
Give this a 1. So
I'm in that same boat.
For 1 mana, it would be great, but 2 mana 1/3 suck usually. So, anyways.
Next up, we got Smelt. 2-mana fire spell. Give a random minion in your hand +3/+3. Lose 3 armor to do it again. You can buff a minion by 6/6 if you get rid of 3 armor.
But you like if it was lose 3 life, I'd be this a lot better. But lose 3 armor. I'm gonna give this a 1. So
also gonna give this a 1. Not quite a believer in this card. Because I don't think the cards that want a hand buff usually get a lot of armor.
Cool.
After that, we got Bellowing Flame. 3-mana fire spell. Deal 5 damage to a minion. Forge, then deal 5 damage, split among all enemy minions. So if you forge this on 2, on turn 3, you choose 1 target, shoot it for 5, and then split 5 random damage after that.
I feel like this sucks. I'm just 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say about like a 3.
Wait,
maybe even a 4.
Chat, what do you guys think? Am I right? I just like I just feel like Warrior is so much. I mean, maybe just because Warrior's been so bad, but like, I mean, okay, if this were deal 5, split amongst all enemy minions, forging, and gain armor for 5 armor for each one killed, that maybe I'd be on. Like, it needs some sort of armor effect, right? Like, it just I can't spend 5 mana control. Like, and once I forge it, my opponent's be like, oh, my opponent is got Belling Flames in hand. I'm going to play around some obvious removal, or to some extent, you know, like.
Let's say you're an outcast demon hunter, and on turn 2, the warrior forges this. You have like 2-3 minions in play at that point. And then you would want to play a Hawkstrider Rancher on 3, and this will kill the Hawkstrider Rancher and the whole board.
But now I know to hold back the Hawkstrider Rancher because, you know.
Well, you could try. Not sure if you're developing as well anymore.
Yeah, I do wait. I wait for you to go your Belling Flames because you have to do some sort of 4-mana equip, and then I play Hawkstrider Coin and play 2 of the minions. You go that, you kill my Hawkstrider, but I've got I've got 1/1s. I mean, it's just So I don't know. I think 1. So yeah,
I like the removal potential. Next up, we got Steam Guardian. 3 mana, 3/3 elemental battlecry. Draw a spell. Reduce the cost of a fire spell in your hand by 1. You know why this card is busted?
No. Oh, because you could draw black rock and roll?
And discount it and play it on 4.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, alright, we'll give it a 5. So, okay, yeah. I'll give it a 4 because it's really just a draw, because black rock roll is good. Alright,
I'll give it a 5.
Yeah.
Because this card is also good if you're not doing black rock and roll.
Okay.
Like, would Enrage Warrior like this?
Would it?
Draw a spell, could be a riff, maybe discount one of your fire spells that you just happen to have.
I think it's only good because of black rock and roll, but black rock, yeah.
It's very good there.
Yeah, so.
I think someone did the math. They say it's like an 80% chance now that you can black rock and roll on turn 4 or 5 with this.
Ooh, okay,
You play this, you play Finley, you play black rock and roll, you're going to find the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so there's that. Next up, we got Stoneskin Armorer, 3 mana, 3/4. Battle Cry. If your armor changed this turn, draw 2 cards.
That's interesting.
So if you gain armor or if you lose armor by swinging into a minion.
That seems pretty good. I think we're good. I'll give 4.
I'm on a 4/2. Looks nice. Looks like Greyheart Sage. After that, we got Craftsman Hammer, 4 mana, 3/3 weapon. After your hero attacks and kills a minion, gain 4 armor.
This is very similar to the 4-mana weapon that drawed a card. But here's, I don't know. You have to take damage to hit these things. It's like, you know, like compare this to like the 4-mana 2/5 pirate. You know, like that gets a body. Like
Sword Eater.
Sure. Yeah, you know, I mean, maybe because you have armor synergy. I know there's some armor synergy, but like a lot of armor synergy cards. I don't know. Like
it can gain you 12 life. That's a lot.
I mean, it's great if you're hitting 1/3s, right? So, but
I go 3 on it.
I'll give it 2. So,
all right. After Craftsman Hammer, we got Khazgaroth, 6 mana, 4/4 Titan. After this uses an ability, gain immune and attack a random enemy minion. And the 3 abilities are: give that +2/+2, then draw a weapon, so you'll hit a minion for 6. Give that +5 attack, then give your hero +5 attack this turn. So you turn into a 9/4, and then you punch something for 5. And then there is gain 5 armor, and give the Titan +5 health.
Let's give us another. This is like a weak 5 compared to the other 5s, but still a 5. So
I think it's still a 5, especially in light of what we've seen. Because Black Rock and Roll can play it, and the other new Control Warrior deck can play it.
Yeah.
So there's that. We got Minotaurin, 6 mana, 5/5 Rush. Whenever this minion deals damage, gain that much armor.
Oh, that's pretty good, right?
Even when the enemy minions bump into this, it gains you armor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
it's kind of
my
mean.
God.
In Black Rock and Roll.
Oh,
Black Rock and Roll, draw this, rush it in for 11
and I just
armor.
have to discover the 1-mana Hunter card, and then we gained.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll give it a 5. It's great, and it's not on Legendary, so I can do it twice. Okay, it's great.
I'll go 4 on it because it's a little expensive, but it's clearly a good card.
Okay, I'm loving this. All right, so.
Yep.
All right.
Next up, Trial by Fire. 7 mana fire spell. Summon 5 1/1 Valkyr with Rush. When one dies, give the others +1/+1. So it summons 5 1/1s. You send 1 in, they all become 2/2s. And you send a 2/2 in, and they all become 3/3s, and so on. So, in terms of rush damage, max damage, it can deal 1 +2 +3 +4 +5, which is kind of like a star power, which lets you know how busted star power is for 5. Kind of like Scale of Onyxia.
this is like a removal for a class that's normally good at removal but bad compared to other classes that are normally bad at removal that have a better card. Like
It's
Scale of
ironic,
Onyxia is not a good card except that it's in Druid, so it's insane. Yeah, this is. Oh, with
I
Animal
still think this
Extractor.
card is. I still think this is good though.
I don't. I'm gonna give this a 1. So.
All right, I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
I'll go hard on this.
All right. Wow. Okay. All right.
And after Trial of Fire, we have Odin Prime Designate. 8 mana, 8/8 battle cry. For the rest of the game, after your hero gains armor, they gain that much attack that turn.
Yeah. So I mean, people were like going nuts after this card because Kibler put it out. But I feel like I feel like it's good, but it's not a Titan in my opinion. You know, like
I'm still going 5 on it.
I'll give it a 4. I'm not a 5 believer. You know, like it's like gaining like Warrior doesn't. I mean, it has that new 6 mana guy, but it's like it doesn't. Yeah.
Like Title Revenant, and then you shoot something for 5 and gain 8 attack and 8 armor, and then they die.
That's pretty good. Yeah, but you have to get to that. So I mean, like, and you have to do this 8 mana do nothing, which I thought Kazakhstan was bad too, and I was wrong about that one. So that's why. But like, yeah, I mean, I think 4. I'm not a 5. Is better more grain. Yeah, I think 4. So
you can play like a heavy plate, 3 mana, Inner Demon. All of a sudden, it gets you 8 armor.
Yeah. So maybe
I think that there's a whole deck here. I like the way this looks.
All right, you can solve. All right, I'll give it a 5. All right, Chet's it's gonna. It's, all right,
peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressured. All right, so okay.
And so the warrior set here, I'm loving this warrior set.
Yeah, it is a really good warrior set. I agree.
It looks visually pleasing and emotionally pleasing. I like this.
Emotionally pleasing. Yeah. So it's got. Yeah, I think I just like even the design of like the ideas behind these cards seem cool.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like some of this armor stuff. I mean, some of the stuff is not good, but like some of there's some cool cards in here for sure. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah.
All right, and now neutrals. We can run through these a little faster. Starting off with Ancient Totem, 0 mana, 0/3 Totem. This card is surprisingly not unplayable. Because Totem Shaman exists.
I after hearing people about Wild talk about this card, I'm gonna give it a 5. Yeah. So.
All right, I'll go for 3, but fair enough.
Okay.
Next up, Drone Deconstructor. 1 mana, 1/2 mech. Battle cry, get a 1/1 magnetic spark bot with a random bonus effect. This is probably like my favorite card in the set. I love this card.
Oh, okay. Okay. So all these magnetic. Oh, you get magnetic poisonous.
Yeah, because it's a good 1-drop. It's a good 2-drop on its own. You can have 2 bodies for infusing or board buffing.
So I can play this on 1, and if I don't have a good play, I can just give it Wind Fury and hit my opponent's face for 4. Like and float a mana.
Mega flexible.
I mean, deck speed 1-drops. I'll give it a 3. Yeah, that seems like good enough in certain things. I think it's a 5. I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? I think I don't think this is broken. I mean, 5 means it's going to be running like every deck that runs 1-drops. So I think I'm a 3.
I think this is the best 1-drop in Standard.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Is neutrals. Next up, Victorious Vicruel, 1 mana, 1/2. After this attacks, get a 2/3 Valkyr that costs 1. So 1 mana, 2/3. That's after it attacks. It does have to survive the attack.
That's not even like. I think it's 1. I don't know.
I would go 2 on it. Maybe even a 3.
It's just understated, like so. It's like so easy to kill, and like 2 mana like 1/3s aren't that good, like in 2020, 2023. So yeah. So.
I'll say 2 on it. It's all right.
Maybe if I run Houndmaster Shaw. Wait, I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways.
Next up, Celestial Projectionist. 2 mana, 3/2. Battlecry. Choose a friendly minion. Add a temporary copy of it to your hand. That just is a copy that goes away at the end of the turn if you don't play it.
So anything that has like cost 0 mana, this is absurd with, right? Like.
Yeah, it's good with the Warlock 5/5. It's good with your priest pogo hopper. It's good with... What else is this good with?
I mean, if you could get that 11-5 or 8-5 Rush Reborn for Demon Hunter,
Astalor, maybe.
Astalor is good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
This card's it's like weird enough that I would give it a 3.
I think a 3 as well. Yeah. So I mean, it is a neutral. Like it doesn't need to be good. Like in every class, it just needs a few good things. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll find something. Next up, Flame Revenant, 2 mana, 2/3 elemental. After you summon an elemental, give it +1/+1. I haven't seen anything that makes me want to use this card.
I mean, this seems like Hawkstrider, but worse, and
Way worse.
and only elementals. So
I'm on.
and Hawkstrider, like, why am I going to run this card when I can run Hawkstrider, like even in my elemental deck, So I'll give it 1.
Question.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Or
Next
summon.
up,
Okay. Yeah, but
speaking of, next up, Inventomatic, 2 mana, 2/3 mech. Whenever you magnetize a minion, give it +1/+1. Also doesn't thrill me.
I'm gonna give it a 2 in that mech decks might need mechs and it might be good enough. I don't know. So
Sure. I'll give it a 1, but that's a valid point. Next up, Watcher of the Sun, 2 mana, 2/3. Battlecry, get a random holy spell. Forge, also restore 6 health to your hero. I think this card's serviceable.
I feel like classes that need heal, like Warlock, might really like this card. Like might really like
Rogue
it.
might like this.
Yeah, like
Maybe that
you,
made spell
yeah,
school
like
deck likes
yeah, like Rogue is running the 3 mana 2/4 into their in their ETC. This seems
Yeah.
like similar. Like you can so I'll give it a 3. Yeah.
I'll go for 2, but close enough. After that, we got Careless Mechanist, 3 mana, 4/5. After you draw your second card in a turn, destroy this. And that card would be bad if it didn't have anything in the text box.
Do you draw your second card in a turn?
If this card was just a 3 mana, 4/5 vanilla, I don't think I would play it.
I mean, it's an arena card that you pick because you didn't get a better arena card, and it's good enough in arena. But like, I think it's a 1. So, unless you want to destroy it,
Sure.
and I'm trying to figure out like some
If you
reason
wanna
where its bad thing is an upside. Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, never mind. 1. So,
Next up, Cyclopean Crusher, 3 mana, 3/3 rush. Forge, gain +3/+2.
these cards are always you should make it rush 1. So, all right.
I'm going to go for a 2. There's like a very small probability. You can just forge this on 2 and play it on 3, and a 6/5 rush is like good enough sometimes. But maybe not.
I don't think it is good enough anytime. I mean, it might. Maybe you run this so you could deal with that's a 3 mana 2/5. Yeah. So yeah. All right.
Crush it.
Yeah. Has there been any really good Forge cards yet? I think I haven't seen any.
No,
And
not really.
and you have the only bad Titan card. So sorry
Sad.
about that. It's the opposite of Forge. So
These things happen.
yeah.
Next up, Fate Splitter, 3 mana, 3/3 Death Rattle. Get a copy of the card that killed this. I have enough experience playing Plagiarizer, a 3 mana 4/3 that just gets the top card of the opponent's deck, to know that card is bad. And taking 1 point of stats away doesn't convince me it's better. So it's a 1.
Yeah, your opponent can give you a bad card that you don't even. Yeah, I'll give it 1. So.
Yep. Next up, Mecha Leaper, 3 mana 2/2 Mech Beast with Magnetic. And Death Rattle, give a friendly mech +2/+2 and this Death Rattle.
Oh, so it just goes on forever?
As long as you have a friendly minion in play for it to jump to, yes. It's like a Battlegrounds card. They did this for Beast.
I know that. Yeah, that card. Yeah,
But that works because in Battlegrounds you start a turn with a board all the time.
That's
and
true.
In Standard, you don't.
I see your point, but I still believe her. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna go bold and give it a 4. All right.
All right.
So,
I'll stick to my 1.
all right.
Next up, Melted Maker. 3 mana 3/3 elemental. After you forge a card, get a copy of it. I think we've established Forge isn't very impressive.
Man, I can get a copy of bad cards. So well, I guess they're good once they've been forged. So that's
And
true.
it's understated too. It's such a 3/3.
Yeah.
I think it's bad as a 3/4. So
I'll give it a 1. So.
Yep. Next up, Ravenous Kraken. 3 mana, 2/5 beast. Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion. Death Rattle, summon a copy of it. Half a cube.
This is insane, right? Like,
Well, I think it has potential. I don't know if I'd say insane.
you heard it. I'm 5. I'm first seeing this. I'm like, this. It's not even bad stats. Destroying your minions can be good. Like,
Yeah,
5.
sure.
5.
All right. I'll go 3.
This is the sleeper. Yeah, the egg guy in me knows how good this is. Yeah, so
Gotcha.
egg on 1, Kraken on 2, GG. All right. Yeah, Faducher does. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
After that, we got Razor Scale. 3 mana, 2/4 dragon. Cards can't cost less than 2. That means any card that costs 1 or 0 costs 2 until you kill this.
Is this like a good tech card, or is this like against?
No.
Like, I feel like it's like I'm not even that happy to play it against Rogue, and that's the only time I'd be happy to play it against.
Yeah, no. Just
Like,
dagger and bone spike it and it's dead.
Yeah. I'll give this a 1, so.
I'll also give this a 1.
Okay.
Next up, Relentless Ward. 3 mana, 2/4 beast with rush. After this attacks and kills a minion, restore it to full health. Also a 1.
Oh, I mean, it's like immune when it works, and not like, and then yeah, 1. So okay, yeah.
1. Next up, Sharp-Eyed Seeker. 3 mana, 3/3 beast. Battlecry. If there is a card in your deck that didn't start there, draw it. Only draws 1 card in case there are multiple.
Yeah. You heard you use this to get your snapshot, right?
Yep.
But like, tutor photograph isn't that big a deal. Like, you know,
Yeah, no,
what I mean?
you probably don't play this.
Yeah,
but
people are like, oh my god, I after I play my 1 bad card, I could play another bad card, then I could play all this value. Like, I'll give it a 2 because it's clearly going to be used. But like,
it's a weird enough card to get it to.
Yeah, but it's not gonna, like, all right. Okay, my prediction is everyone's gonna play this card, and BS is gonna be like, cut your Sharp-Eyed Seeker out of your deck, and your photographer, it's not helping you. That's my prediction.
And no one will.
Yeah. So, anyways, Tutor Horseman.
Next up, Starlight Whelp. 3 mana, 4/3 dragon. Battlecry. Get a random card from your starting hand.
Wasn't there one that was like, get your whole starting hand? Wait, why do people think this is good? 5?
This card is not good.
Okay, yeah, dude, my chat is going crazy on some of these cards. I don't know what they're.
Look, just rephrase this card. If this card was 3 mana, 4/3, draw a card.
Yeah,
that card's not that good. It's really not that good. And I don't know if this effect is better or worse than draw a card, but I'm not. Like, Plagiarizer is an awful card. Starlight Whelp or draw a card might be a little better, but not by that much.
Yeah,
I think it's a 1.
I agree. 1. All right.
After that, we got Trog Exile. 3 mana, 4/4 rush. Battlecry, deal 4 damage to your hero. This gets a 2, but that's just because the Warlock card is very good. The Trog Exile is an awful card, but if you really want your hero to take damage and reduce the 5/5 fast, it does that.
I feel there are better self-harming cards.
Oh, there are.
I have a 1, yeah. So
There's Tour Guide, there's Flame Imp, there's that 1 mana spell that can deal 4. Whatever. Next up, Algernon the Observer. 4 mana, 4/4 legendary. Battlecry. Replace your hero power with Algernon's Vision, which is a 1 mana hero power. Looks the top card of your opponent's deck, and you may put it on the bottom of their deck. So you lose your hero power, and then you do that. It's awful.
you should, like, I feel like this should be 0 mana. You just get it every turn. I mean,
That'd be kind of annoying. I don't think.
yeah, I guess so. You have to use
I think
10
we like playing it's that.
So, I mean, this is like, I think people said that this comparison of like to that 1 mana weapon, like the Sphere of Sapience, that's its all play, right?
Yep. I would think about Sphere of Sapience. That card wasn't very good. I would think about Gnome Feratu. That card was not very good. I don't think this card gets better.
And like decks can draw, like it's not like old Hearthstone where you drew 1 card a turn. So it's like you're not going to be able to, like, they just draw 3 cards and then your effect is nullified, right? So,
Yeah. Or you just take a card off the top of their deck and then they draw another good card because their deck is full of good cards.
or you put it at the bottom of the deck and they go Sir Finley and they get it now. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep on top, move to bottom. Another.
I think it's a 1.
Yeah, I'll give it 1. So okay.
I'm not spending 4 mana for a 4/4, losing my hero power, and then spending 1 mana every turn for dubious power. Big pass. Next up, Angry Hellhound. 4 mana 2/5 beast with rush. Has +4 attack on your turn. On your turn, it's a 6/5.
So this reminds me of that warrior card that was, Battle Cry.
Militia Commander.
Yeah, this is just better than that, right? But Militia Commander was a different time. So, I mean, this card seems like just it's been power creeped out of the, but it might be like, there might be, yeah.
My only reason I thought I might think about this card is in Hunter, because always a bigger Drominger exists, and this is a beast, and maybe you can dredge it up with a harpoon gun. And then I thought I was just being crazy, and then I put it back out of the deck.
Yeah, I mean, this card is one of those cards that I think has a very narrow range of power level. It's like not like a card but it just feels like there are better, like there are stronger tempo, like arena cards that you can run in your deck. So
one of my chatters just made a point that what about Warlock with the location? Maybe
that's true. Actually, yeah,
that's not bad with the location.
I'm gonna give it a 2 because it's almost good enough. So I could see myself. It's not a garbage card. Like it's a card that you often discover off a discover card because you just like, oh, this is one of the okay cards to get. So I'll give it a 2. So it's probably a 1, but I'll give it 2.
All right, I'll give it a 1. Okay. Next up, Ignis, the Eternal Flame. 4 mana 2/4 legendary Battlecry. If you forged a card this game, craft a custom weapon. Have you understood this card? Because this is a lot to explain.
Wait, I haven't even seen this guy. Wait, okay, so
okay.
Holy
this card
effects.
Yeah, all right. So this card works like Kazakus, the 4 mana Kazakus, where you made a golem. So you start by picking a 1, 5, or 10 cost weapon, and then you discover a basic keyword for it, like Wind Fury or Cleave or Immune while attacking, something like that. And then you get another bonus effect that scales on the size of the weapon. So like after you attack, gain 2, 4, or 8 armor. Or draw 1, 2, or 4 cards. Or Battle Cry, deal 2, 4, or 6 damage, something like that. It's basically Kazakus, but you have to forge a card before you can play it.
I mean, that 10 mana, like, I feel like you could put this deck in a deck that has good control to, like, I could put this in Priest, and now I have a win condition, right? Like, just take a 10 mana, like, 5 mana, like, that 10 mana weapon is, like, absurd, just so slow, right?
Yeah, it's very slow.
But Priest is slow, so it's,
You also do have to have forged a card, which means you play forged cards.
Yeah, that's true. You have to play bad cards.
This thing is very slow.
Because it's a neutral, because like you can give effects to classes like that, don't normally get it. I'm gonna give it a 3. So
I'm gonna give it a 1. I think the card is actually just bad.
Chad, you want to run this? I want to run this in Priest. Like I want to run this like Forge. Like I run like 2 or 4 Forge controls, and then I get this 10 mana weapon, and I just like now I can actually win the game. You know what I mean?
I'm using a simpler mental heuristic, which is that Kazakus was good in Barons and then never again. And I think
it was good in Barons. So
yeah, I just think we're past Barons.
I have changed my mind. I'm going higher. I'm going 4. So yeah.
Okay. Somehow I talked you up. I don't know how.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Imposing Anubisath. 4 mana, 7/7, taunt, can't attack. Now this card's good with the Warlock location.
It is good with the Warlock location, yeah.
And I don't know, is this card actually just enough defensive stats that some decks might run it? Like Burgle Rogue.
The taunt, like usually these can't attack cards don't have taunt, so.
Burgle Rogue wants to go late, and this card you can breakdance it, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, I didn't think about that yet. I mean, breakdance is, I mean, I would just. seems bad.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, this seems good in like Warlock right now, but like because one like this is a card that is unique in its overstatting and its effects, so I think it could be good enough. So I'm gonna give it a 3. So
Yeah, I like 3. 3 sounds good. Next up, Mechanome Guide. 4 mana 3/4 mech, Battlecry, discover a spell. Forge, it costs 3 less. I don't think I would play this card if it was a 4/4.
I run this in my priest deck so I can get my Kasaka sound going. You know? I mean,
Yeah.
I could see this card being like, or I could play this and then I can get a turn 6 Scourge, you know?
Yeah, if you're a DK and you forge this, and then you spend a bad turn 4, you can maybe get turn 6 Scourge.
I'll give this a 2, you know, so yeah.
I could maybe see a 2, I'm going to give it a 1, but we'll see. Next up, Rune Fueled Golem. 4 mana 4/4. Battlecry, discover a weapon from any class.
But they don't equip it, so like these cards have been made and they always suck. I feel like doesn't this card already exist in the past somewhere?
Probably.
Okay, I'll give it a 1. Yeah.
Steel. Yeah, it wasn't good. Next up, Saronite Tolvir. 4 mana 3/5 taunt. Whenever this is attacked, draw a card. Like Ascension Shieldmaster that draws cards.
Is this like insane? I feel like this is insane. Like it's like Acolyte of Pain.
I would say it's probably about as good as Treasure Guard.
Treasure Guard's like this marginal card that sees plays like 80 decks.
Yeah, so this could be a marginal card that maybe sees play somewhere.
I'm gonna give this a 4. So
okay, I'm gonna give it a 2. Okay. That's impressive.
I live in the world of like Paladin and Priest, where decks and Warrior decks that have terrible card draw. So we live in different worlds. So you know, I see
Warrior doesn't have terrible card draw anymore.
Maybe, yeah. So I guess Paladin has the new 4 mana 3/3. So, anyways,
After that, we got Time Lost Proto Drake. 4 mana 4/5 dragon with taunt. When you draw this, add a random dragon to your hand.
But I want random dragons, like dragons.
Yeah, no.
I don't get to discover it, and it's like could awkwardly make my hand awkward.
I'd rather play the card we just looked at. So this card is a 1.
I'd rather just play the dragon that I want. I don't know, but I guess this is like aren't there? Yeah, I mean, I could run the paladin, like that paladin lifesteal dragon, which just seems absurdly better than this. Like that barely sees play. So yeah, I'll give it. It had to get buffed. I'm gonna give it a 1. Yeah. So okay.
Yep. Oh, hold on, wait a second. I have to look at what dragons exist in other classes.
Okay.
Because Burgle Rogue desperately wants to find minions. And maybe this would spit out a dragon more consistently than not. Maybe. That's actually something I'm going to think about. Anyway. Next up, Disguised Kathir. 5 mana 3/3. Each turn this is in your hand, transform into a random card in your opponent's deck.
This reminds me of like Chameleos, but neutral.
Although this is active immediately, whereas Chameleos wasn't.
Okay.
It's still probably bad.
It is active immediately? I thought it was going to be not active immediately.
It says each turn this is in your hand, so I assume... It doesn't say end of turn.
I never assume. But yeah, I mean... Is it...
I might play this in Burgle Rogue. Maybe.
But you get to see otherwise it, like it changes every turn, right? So you don't have to even like, you can... I'll give this a 2, right?
Yeah, me too. Let's see. Next up we got Tram Operator. 5 mana 4/4 mech. Battle card, draw mech. The next mech you play costs 2 less.
It's 5 mana. The game's already over. I don't know.
It's kind of like Raging Fell Screamer, but slower.
Oh, but it
draws.
I'll give this a 1, so... Yeah, the Raging Fell Screamer is actually good demon cards, and it's 4 mana 4/4s. Yeah, so yeah.
I don't believe in this yet.
Okay.
Next up we got XP488 Disposal Bot. 5 mana 3/2 mech. Battlecry, deal 5 damage randomly split among enemy minions. Forge, gain lifesteal.
Which reminds me of Zilix.
Why does this card have so few stats?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this is kind of feels comparable to that Warlock card we saw, but like way
But
more
this one
annoying to
costs 7
use.
mana instead
Yeah,
of
7
3.
mana. I mean, you could
Yeah.
play. Yeah,
No, you can't play this for 5 mana. I don't think you can.
oh,
This is a 1.
Dynamatic. Yeah, Dynamatic is that you. Dynamatic got power creeped out as well. All right, I'll give this a
Yeah.
1. So yeah, this is yeah. Dynamatic was busted, but it got they put it in core set, right? It's in the core set. It doesn't see play.
Yep.
So
Next up, Flame Behemoth. 6 mana, 4/5 mech legendary. Battlecry get 2 random magnetic mechs. They cost 2 less. It's awful.
is it awful?
Yes.
Random. They cost
The
2
6
less.
mana, 4/5.
But it's like it reminds me of the card in Warlock for Outcasts because they cost 2 less. So you get
Card in Demon Hunter. Oh, for this
Yeah.
Fellerin?
Yeah, Fellerin.
Yeah, Fellerin pulls from a good pool.
Oh yeah,
This
our
doesn't
mechs
pull
do
from a
kind of
good
suck.
pool.
Okay.
It's a Giga one.
Is it? I'm gonna give it a 2 because I'm not convinced it's. I don't know. I'm gonna give it 2. So.
Sure.
Right.
Next up, Containment Unit. 7 mana, 6/6 mech with magnetic. Death Rattle, summon a random 8 cost minion. This one's actually okay.
Wasn't this like a card?
It's one of those.
Yeah, like already existed. But
Yeah,
like
well, there was a dragon. It was an
Yeah.
8 mana something. Death Rattle, summon a random 7 cost minion. But this just, like, if there's a Death Rattle synergy, this has just enough weirdness about it to be a payoff.
Yeah, this this is very efficient, but just like in the world of single target removal on its own isn't good. But you get some mana cheating, you get some magnetic synergy, you get some death rattle synergy.
Yeah.
I'll give this a 3. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Might be alright. Next up, Prison. We already play with Prison. Not one point in rating that.
what do you think Prison is as? I feel like it's a 3.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's a 3.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a good card in some decks.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Kolagarn, which wins my award for text box I hate the most in Hearthstone. 8 mana, 6/10 legendary, rush. Whenever this attacks a minion, put it in your hand. Death Rattle, move
like Sap?
any in your hand to your opponents. Yeah, so this attacks a minion. Before it hits the minion goes into your hand. And then if this dies, the minion goes back into your opponent's hand. But if you play the minion when this dies, you keep the minion. And I hate this card because there are so many words. It reads very poorly. And the Death Rattle, it's like a downside that makes the card less exciting and fun to play. Like, make this card an 8 mana 6/6 and take away the Death Rattle, and it makes sense. But they just gave it too many words. Anyways, this card's like... It's weird enough that maybe it ends up in a deck. But it's very expensive.
I mean, the sap effect is like the effect is powerful, but it's also 8 mana, so it's like I don't know, like, but you also steal the card.
It's like you're supposed to play this
and
take your opponent's Titan.
But then they just kill it and get their Titan back, and then they can play their Titan again, right? So
yeah, I think it's a 1. It might be a 2. I'm just gonna say 1.
But it's too unique to give a 1. I'm gonna give it a 2. So
that's very fair. Next up, Son of Hodir. 8 mana, 8/8. Battlecry, shuffle 4 8/8 giants into your deck that are summoned when drawn. Big Felder Ice Strider.
Yeah. I mean, this is like one of those. I feel like it's one of those cards that feels good but is bad. But like it feels good. I don't know, but it definitely my mind is saying this is probably sucks.
I think it's bad. Yes, I think it's bad.
But
I don't know of any way to cheat this into play.
Finley synergy. You know, these cast withdraws don't work with Finley. You Finley, and then you get like this 8/8 cast withdrawn. So yeah.
Works with the Seeker. The 3 mana.
Go with Ramp Druid. You think that, but then your opponent, you play this card and you're already behind, and then you're just super dead. Like, or you draw all these, and then your opponent
play
just
Topior and get 50 points of rush.
Yeah, Topior way, yeah. All right, I'll give this a 1. So.
Yep, 1's right. Storm Giant. 8 mana, 8/8. Taunt. Forge costs 2 less. Can be forged endlessly. The combo they want us to do with this is you draw this, you spend at least 6 mana forging it, so doing nothing. Then you play the 3 mana 3/3 that gets you additional copies of forge cards, and then you can play 2 mana copies of this giant. Because you have to forge it to get a 0 cost copy in your hand. And that means, like, on turn 9, after spending 6 mana, you get to play a 3/3, and then you can play 3 8/8s with Taunt, and then I think a 4th one. But that's not going to happen. This card's a 1.
Yeah, I mean, you have to spend all the 8 mana. You can just do it over a few turns. Criminal lineup. I mean, okay. Even though, like,
spend 6 mana doing nothing, then criminal lineup.
I'm on one end. I think in 99% decks it probably sucks, but because you can do some wacky stuff with it, and get to 8, like someone said, criminal lineup. Like, I think, like, I'm gonna give it a 3 because, like, you could do something fancy with it. Like the fact that you could play, like, you could spend all your mana on turn 8 setting it up and then pop off with it next turn. That does have some build around potential that could be very powerful, even though it sucks most of the time. So like, I think this is like a card where, like, you find the right synergy, So yeah.
And that does it for the whole thing. It's kind of interesting. Well, the way I was thinking about this set, it's like that half poorly drawn horse meme. Half the horse is really well drawn, half of it is really poorly drawn. Like,
Okay.
Death Knight got one deck, maybe. They got one idea. If the idea doesn't work out, Death Knight doesn't get a set. Demon Hunter gets maybe a 2 existing decks, but doesn't make new decks. Druid gets amazing, really exciting and fun, and make new experiences. Hunter gets powerful, fun cards, experiences. Maybe deck, or maybe Paladin doesn't feel like it makes happen, really. Maybe buffs an existing deck. Priest either makes this, or it just puts a Titan in its deck. Rogue either makes Mimron. Shaman got, I think, a great set. Warlock got a good set, and Warrior got a great set. It's so weird that half of this stuff to me looks so exciting, and the other half looks
Like, you can't have 135 cards that exist, so it's like, I don't know, my impression is kind of like similar to yours, where I feel like a third of the cards are clearly busted, or like maybe then like a third of the cards are clearly utter trash, and there's like this other third where it could go either way, where there's like, I don't know if this package works. There's like, I think there's a lot of interesting ideas that could work. And I think we don't like know which one it's going to be, but I feel like there's some cards that are interesting enough that somebody figures out how to build it. There could be something cool. Like, there's a lot of cards that are like, there are quite a few cards that are interesting enough to be hard to evaluate and like need to be tested. Where I think and those I think will I don't think those are going to get figured out in the theory craft. I think there's some ideas that are going to come for this set that's like actually. I think that's a good thing. So I think overall. I mean, I'm sorry, your class got screwed. But I think
it is what it is.
But I think overall, it's got some. This looks like a cool set. Like, so. Yeah.
Well, thanks for the review. As always, you have the link, right?
Yep.
That
The
should be in
explanation
Discord?
spreadsheet. Yep. So.
All right, cool. I will catch you next time then.
All right. Thanks for good times. All right. Talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Have a good.
Yeah, chat. You know what corrupted is? So, yeah, chat, what do you guys think? It seems we gotta wait for the minis. I mean, Titans are going to be busted, and it's just literally might be draw your Titan with the game.